Hey, this is Patrick Durkin, and I am driving in Sedona, Arizona with the beautiful and magnificent Susie Beiler. Beiler from the Creation Temple.
Yes.
She's amazing. And we met last year, and she bought a Jivara Maximus when she moved into a new house, right, Susie?
Whole house system.
Whole house system, yeah. And she was about to say something, and I know what she was going to say. So I cut her off and asked her if we could make a video so that we could hear it on video the first time. So this is one of the weirdest topics that I have with structured water. And it's weird because I don't think Susie's going to be able to explain it any better than I can. But we can share our experience and tell you what's happened. Okay, so Susie, you installed a Jivara Maximus, and just tell them what you were starting to tell me about your experience.
Okay, well, in the beginning, when they would add the chemicals to the water, I think that I could smell chlorine, and I've had it for a year now, and lately I haven't smelled chlorine in the water.
And that's
as far as we got in the conversation.
Yeah, and that's so weird, right? Because chemistry says if the water company always puts chlorine in the water, and you have a device that doesn't remove it, then you should always smell it.
Yeah.
I had the same experience.
Well, so I guess my theory is that there's like an entrainment that happens in the system.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you had a theory, and that's why I wanted to do this live.
Oh.
So that's my theory,
that's
too.
My theory.
And so let me tell you what happened. This is pretty funny. So a woman called from a New York City high-rise, and she called with this issue. She said, I got your device. I don't like it. I still smell and taste chlorine. I was like, I didn't tell you it would remove chlorine.
Yeah.
I told you it would neutralize it. She said, well, I'm still not happy. I said, okay, are you open? She said, yeah. I said, okay.
Wait a few months.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to weekly at most, and daily if you feel like it, I want you to take, she had a handheld device, I want you to take it to your kitchen sink and hold it underneath the faucet, and then I want you to turn on the water and let water drain straight through your device down the drain into your building. And as it does, I want you to envision that that water is going to change the water in the entire building, underneath the building, in the whole block, right there in New York City.
Sweet.
And she said,
I don't know if I'm that open.
Right? Exactly. And so like 6 weeks later, she wrote me an email, and it's one of the best testimonials I've ever had.
Awesome.
She was a raving fan. She's telling me about how she was taking her device on her motorcycle trips now, how she doesn't smell chlorine anymore. And I got that.
Oh, so she's even using different systems of water. It's not just in her home. It's anywhere she goes.
Well, she has the portable device. So you got the
fascinating.
You got the Jivara Maximus whole house. She actually had the natural action portable.
Yeah, I don't take mine anywhere.
Yeah, well.
Oh, that's even more interesting, Patrick.
Yeah, well, we'll be having to talk about portable devices since we're on the road today, and I brought my Jivara 3-in-1, so you're going to get to experience it.
Awesome.
But yeah, isn't that an interesting theory that we're spreading harmony when we're spreading these devices, and the harmony that we spread seems to cross a threshold that for a significant number of customers, in fact, I would say most, the chlorine issue goes away. In fact, everybody it goes away, or they stop talking to me about it and I don't know, because I don't have persistent chlorine complaints. Yeah. I have initial chlorine complaints, which is the same thing that I was.
And then you teach them what to do,
and then
it goes away.
Yeah, exactly. But for people who want to see that we can change the world with structured water devices, I see the evidence.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks for sharing your experience.
Yeah, I love that it's a portable device and it's still working that way. One of the other things you had told me was that like as it travels through the pipes throughout the entire house, it's going to change the energy of the house. And already, Max and I are pretty high vibe and we're very peaceful people, and so we're already setting the energy of the house. And it just feels like that, having the device and the water flowing through the pipes and everything is just a support to keep the energy high vibe. Yeah,
it's one thing to have
He's
somebody.
Getting serious now. He's pulling over and stopping.
Yeah, this is serious stuff. It's one thing to have somebody tell you that. I knew I wanted to make a video with you. I just didn't know what was going to happen. But it's another for you to experience it.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of experiences, are you willing to have another one live right now?
Okay.
I knew she'd say yes.
Of course.
So here I have, out of my bag here, my travel kit for my Jivara 3-in-1. and I have it all dressed up already in its portable outfit. See, it's got its funnel and its nozzle. And Susie, you've never touched one of these before, right? Okay. So, what do you see there?
Ooh, crystal pyramid.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
See a pyramid inside of the Jivara 3-in-1. Now, I want to
heavy.
switch the camera here for a second.
Okay.
And I'm going to
Hold
take it over here.
Okay.
And, oh, sorry about my hand, guys. And I'm probably not going to do as good a job framing as Susie did, so sorry. Try breathing through the Jivara 3-in-1. You put your mouth here, and you breathe in and out through it. And just breathe deeply. Susie's pretty sensitive to energy, and I've never done a live demo of somebody who didn't know this was coming. And Susie, I'm not wanting.
It might make me cry.
If you didn't hear that, she was kind of quiet. She said, "It might make me cry." And if anybody's watched my other videos, you've probably heard that I've taken this device to various events and I put it in people's hands and they've cried. So if that actually happens to Susie, yeah. Aw, so sweet. Oh, you're adorable. Thanks for being vulnerable and real with us. So,
Yeah.
so why is it making you cry? What is that?
It reminds me of home.
Yeah, and what does home mean to you?
Heaven on earth. Just the peace, the sweetness. There's angelic energy in this. The gold, the royalty, the richness, the purity.
Yeah. I just laugh because I've had 2 experiences at events where I put it in people's hands, and one cried, and the other one said, "This takes me home." And you just did both. So guys, if you're out there wondering if the Jivara technology is real and special, you know, for Susie, it's a feeling of heaven on earth. For me, it's the same. I hope this makes a difference for you. You have any closing comments?
Well, to have the Jivara Maximus in my home and the support of that energy running through the pipes constantly, you know, the water, the structured water. Sedona is a very intense place to live. Very, very intense. It's no joke. And to have the feeling of peace as soon as I step into my home and, you know, be able to have a peaceful home. Like I said, you know, I don't give it all the credit. Max and I do our inner work, and so we create that.
Yeah.
But to have the support of a device that also assists with that is pretty profound and amazing. So thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, right on, Susie. I'm glad you have it. I'm glad to share it with you. And thanks for being authentic and real with us. I think Susie's going to be getting high today.
I'm already high.